Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In my previous talks, I had raised some points with regard to this 41 state Islamic Military Alliance. One of which was how Saudi Arabia, the brainchild behind this military coalition, looks at the challenge of militancy or terrorism in the Arab world and beyond. My other point was how India, Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, the Houthis in Yemen, Kurds in Iran, Iraq, Syria and Turkey, the Ikhwan in Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria and Egypt, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Palestine, various stakeholders in the post-Gaddafi Libya, Al-Shabaab in Africa, Al-Qaeda, Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant or Daesh, and others look at the evolution of this military alliance. I had stated that the Saudi approach to this challenge, in my view, essentially stems from a kind of a solution that it perhaps identifies in the speeches of Al-Hajjaj bin Yusuf al-Taqwi that he delivered before the people of Kufa and Basra in the 7th century. In his speeches to the people of Kufa and Basra, Al-Hajjaj had described them, the people, as Ya Ahl al-Shiqaq wal-Nifaq, O people of mischief and intrigues. Dear viewers, the names of cities of Kufa and Basra have some very special meanings and significance in the overall imagination of the Arab world, or Alam al-Arab and Alam al-Ajam, essentially Iran. I started my discussion with the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant or Daesh by stating that in the entire recorded history of mankind, all such or similar armed struggles or movements had espoused two causes or raised two demands. Number one, give us freedom. Number two, leave our territory. In the case of Spartacus, for example, the movement of slaves against the Roman rule was based on give us freedom slogan or demand. In the present day Afghanistan, the Afghan Taliban have been waging an armed struggle against the presence of foreign troops in their country, and they are asking them to leave their land immediately. While discussing this entity, Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant or Daesh, I had raised a couple of points. In my view, the agenda or narrative of this entity is vastly different from the Al-Qaeda's or Afghan Taliban's, for example. And Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant has been successfully selling its narrative to its supporters and sympathizers in the Arab world in particular. There are a reason for that. Before I come to those reasons, I want to say a few words about its birth or existence. Many scholars, or according to many scholars and analysts, there are three principal reasons behind the birth of this entity, Daesh. Number one, it is a kind of a unique amalgamation and synthesis between Ba'athist ideology and the Salafist version of religion. Number two, the removal of centuries-old established Sunni Muslim order in Iraq. Number three, sectarian-based approach to governance in the post-Saddam Iraq. Here I want to add a point to this whole argument. by saying that in my view, the most critical, or one of the most critical points is Arab nationalism or Arabism, which had received two jolts, major jolts in the last 50 years. The first was the event of 1967 when Israel defeated the Arab countries. It was a huge humiliation for the entire Arab world in particular, and the Islamic world in general. The second such event took place in March 2003 when the US attacked or invaded Iraq, removing Saddam. This factor, in my view, has also contributed to the rise and growth of Daesh or Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant in a highly meaningful manner. I'll continue my discussion on this point in my next episode as well. To conclude, I must recite from the work of great Arab poet Badr Shakir al-Sayyab, who in his Inishwatul Matar or the rain song had said, and I had already recited these lines in one of my episodes, previous episodes. دفع الشتى في أوار عشة الخريف، دفع الشتى في أوار عشة الخريف، والموت والميلاد والجلام والضياء. Meaning, in this rain, you will feel the warmth of winter and the violent shaking and trembling of autumn. In it, you will also find death and birth and darkness and light. Thank you very much. My name is Sarfraz Ahmed. من يا زبوس سرفراز أحمد يا ربوتي تبع جزتا. أنا سرفراز أحمد نائب رئيس التحرير في جريدة كراتشي باكستان. باكستان زندباد.